Hi guys, it's me again, and I'm headache. Okay, I'm gonna try and go on with the video. So, this is my comparison of Phineas and Ferb Mission Marvel against Scooby-Doo meets Batman. Now, with how much Warner Brothers and Disney Now, with how much Disney and Warner Brothers are compared, and how much DC and Marvel are compared, I'm surprised no one else did this comparison. I'm surprised no one else did this comparison, and I'm surprised I'm doing this comparison. Okay, so let's start with the characters. Now, for Batman vs. Now, for Scooby-Doo meets Batman, Now, for Scooby-Doo meets Batman, the plot is... So, basically, the characters are, of course, Fred, Daphne, Velma, Shaggy, Scooby, Batman, and Robin. And then there's the joke, and then there's as the villains. And then there's the Professor, and then as... No, wait. Before I say as the villains. And then there's the Professor, and then as the villains, we have... Then as the villains, we have the Joker, the Penguin, and that old lady person from the second episode in Scooby-Doo meets Batman. So, for Phineas and Ferb Mission Marvel, the characters are, of course, Phineas, Ferb, Candace, Isabella, Buford, Baljeet, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Hulk, and Thor. Sorry, there's no other Marvel heroes besides those four, but you should be happy. Those four are all awesome. And then there's And then there's Stan Lee. And then there's actually this one gives Mission Marvel a point, but that's still probably not going to be the final verdict. Stan Lee makes not one, not two, but 4 cameos in this thing. He's selling hot dogs, though, but still. And then as the villains... Oh, wait, forgot to mention a character. Their mom and their dad. Phineas and Ferb's mom and dad. Okay, so. And then... As the villains, there's Red Skull, which kind of makes it weird that Captain America isn't one of the heroes, but whatever. MODOK, the Mandarin's assistant from Iron Man the Animated Series. He is in the comics. It's just, that's probably where you're going to know him from the most. Whiplash. Yes, the guy you hated from Iron Man 2, but don't fear. It's the comics version. And Venom. And Doofenshmirtz. So... Who wins for characters? It's a tie. I can't decide, because I love Scooby-Doo, and I love Disney, but I also love Marvel and DC. In fact, if you ask me which one's better for Scooby-Doo and Disney, I can't... Oh, wait. I'm gonna get to that verdict later. Alright, so... Now, let's talk antagonists. Like I said, the antagonist would be for Scooby-Doo meets Batman. For Scooby-Doo meets Batman, it would be Joker, Penguin, and that old lady from the second part. And then for Phineas and Ferb Mission Marvel, it would be Red Skull, which makes it weird Cap's not in this, but whatever. MODOK, Whiplash, Venom, and Doofenshmirtz. So... Which one So, which one's the better pair of villains? I'm going to have to say Phineas and Ferb Mission Marvel had better antagonists because Venom is one of the most evil antagonists. Goodness. So, they went over that. So now, let's look at the plot. So the plot to Scooby-Doo meets Batman would be Batman and Robin team up with Mystery Inc. to capture the Joker and the Penguin. And the plot to the second one is they end up in a house and there's this new monster they have to unmask. The plot to Phineas and Ferb Mission Marvel would be all the Marvel heroes lose their powers because Doofenshmirtz invented something and Phineas and Ferb try to help get them back. And of course they succeed. So let's see. Can't decide. Now, final verdict. Okay. This is a tough one. I can't even decide. It's a tie. Oh, and I forgot to say at the beginning, I'm doing this in honor of Batman and Return of the Caped Crusaders. I can't decide. This is a tie because... So, if you ask me... So, I like Scooby-Doo and I love Disney. So, I love Scooby-Doo and I love Disney. And I love Marvel and I love DC. In fact, ask me which one I prefer out of Scooby-Doo and Disney. In fact, ask me which I prefer out of Scooby-Doo and Disney. I'd say I can't decide. That's a tie. In fact, ask me which one I prefer, Scooby-Doo or Disney. I say it's a tie. I can't decide. Ask me which I prefer out of Marvel or anything DC would be... for comics, it's a tie. Would be... So, for comics, it's a tie for that one. For TV shows, DC. For comics, it's a tie. For TV shows, DC, because they have the DCAU and Teen Titans, the Batman, and Legion of Superheroes. So, yeah. And the Flash TV show that's on now. And the 60s Batman TV show, I mean. And Super Friends. But for movies, it would be Marvel. And for comics, it's a tie, like I said. So, yeah, this one's Scooby-Doo meets Batman versus Phineas and Ferb Mission Marvel has to be a tie. I know you were expecting a winner, but it has to be a tie. I cannot choose between Scooby-Doo or Disney, and I cannot choose for comic versions of Marvel versus DC. I get that this one wasn't going on the comic versions, but still. You know. Comment, but that's just me. Comment which one you preferred, and like this video, and subscribe if you want to. Bye.